Hello YouTubers, my name is Attila Mate from Blue Sky Photography, and today I'd like to talk to you about a very interesting topic. And this would be an announcement from Nikon. And I have to be honest with you, I am very disappointed about this announcement, and it's about the Nikon D7500. And I was waiting for a long time for this announcement, and I was hoping for a long time, that Nikon will step up and they will be, let's say, they will get into the future, with the rest of the camera manufacturers, but it looks like they choose not to. So let's talk a little bit about the Nikon D7500. Hello YouTubers, how are you? I hope all you have a nice day, and let's talk a little bit about the new Nikon D7500 and the few things which in my opinion I think it will slowly it will destroy Nikon. And it looks like, in my opinion, it looks like they intentionally want to destroy the company. It's I don't know, it sounds crazy, that they do sometimes some moves that it's just nonsense, so let's see. They announced the Nikon D7500 a few days ago, and I am very disappointed about this announcement. And let's see why. Honestly, I don't really understand this company. I don't understand why they want to step back when you are in a certain level, with the camera. And I will explain to you why I say this. Well, the new Nikon D7500, it will use the sensor from the Nikon D500, which is actually good. It's a 20 megapixel sensor, it's a 20.9, well, roughly it's a 20 megapixel sensor and no anti-aliasing filter, and we all know that the Nikon D500 sensor, it's very good. It's nothing to be complained about that. So that's great, that's okay. Although you lose 4 megapixel, almost 4 megapixel, which is not so good. But in the same time, that 4 megapixel is not very bad, but if you want to crop a little bit, it's handy to have. So you lose 4 megapixel, but that sensor is very good. It proved to be very good. So it's okay. Now, the ISO performance will be the same, they say. They say it will be the same like on the Nikon D500. It's from 100 until 51,200, the native ISO. Now, the extended ISO, it's about, I don't know, 1 million. That's BS. So forget about it. You don't want to use that. Anyway, you will not be able to use that, because if you want to use that, your photos will be ruined. So it's simply it's not usable at all. It's only marketing strategy. It's like I don't know, like Pentax did, with the new KP. They said that it's 1 million, I don't know, whatever. That's not true. So you don't want to use that. What is important is that the native ISO is until 51,200. So it stepped up one step, like it's not so good, but it's okay. The Nikon D500, it's good in low light. I wouldn't say it's so good like some photographers they will praise, but it's good. So, tilted touchscreen. Now, again, I don't really understand Nikon, and the way of thinking, like they have the Nikon D5500 and 5600. And they have this tilty flippy screen, like the Panasonic cameras have or the Olympus cameras have. And then they put on the Nikon D500 on the flagship camera. And in this one, they put the tilty screen. So that screen will only tilt. It won't flip out. Why? Everybody knows that on the flagship camera, you should have everything and beyond. Everybody knows that tilty flippy screen is the best. Why they use only the tilty screen? Why they like they want to cripple intentionally the camera? It's ridiculous. I don't understand really, but I don't know why they did it. It's their choice. So that's it. It's only a tilty screen and not a tilty flippy screen. Now, and this is one of the biggest mistake they made here. the autofocus system is the same autofocus system which it is in the Nikon D7200, which again, it's not bad. It's a good autofocus system, 51 points and 15 cross type in the middle. But in my opinion, if you want to upgrade, you need a better I mean, what is the most important thing when a photographer looks at a camera when he wants to upgrade, in my opinion? Well, if I want to upgrade my camera, I will look three things. First, image quality, which in this case, it's not a big deal because the Nikon D7200's image quality and the D500's image quality, they are very, very close. They are a hair difference, so I don't know if it worth upgrading. Second, it should be a faster autofocus system. In this situation, it's the same autofocus system, although they say that they tweaked a little bit so it will be faster than the Nikon D7200, which I don't believe. I think that it's only against some marketing strategy, but we will see when the camera actually will be on the market and we will be able to test it. And the third one is the ISO performance. Now in this situation, the ISO performance, the low light performance might be better. That's true. It might be better because the Nikon D500, it's a bit better than the Nikon D7200. Now, honestly, from these three, because in my opinion, these are the three most important aspects when you want to upgrade a camera. Because that camera has a snap bridge technology or whatever, Wi-Fi or whatever, who the hell cares? I mean, if I want to let's not talk about that. So the most important things in my opinion are these three things. And in this situation, from these three things, there's only one, the ISO performance. And that's the only thing, it's a little bit better than Nikon D7200. So I don't know if it's worth upgrading. Anyway, the autofocus system is the same. It shoots 8 frames per second. Nikon D7200 shoots 6 frames a second, Nikon D500 shoots 10 frames a second. So it will be in the middle, 8 frames. Honestly, I'm not a sports photographer, but I shoot a lot of sports. I shoot a lot of times on my son's rugby matches. And I think in my opinion that the 6 frames per second, it's more than enough. You know, now, like I said, I'm not a professional sports photographer, so I might be wrong, I don't know, but in my opinion, if you are a professional sports photographer, you will not buy the Nikon D7500. But anyway, I think that 6 frames is enough. 8 frames, it's okay, it's more than enough, so that's not a big issue. Now, buffer rate. 50 RAW files, 14-bit lossless compression, and up to 100 JPEGs. Again, I think that this buffer is a little bit overreacted in many cases, and I tell you why. I mean, like I said, I shot a few matches, you know, a few sports matches, and I know what I'm talking about. You know, I'm not a professional sports photographer, but I did several times, you know, actually many times, and I know what I'm talking about. So when will you find yourself in a situation when you want to shoot 50 frames in a row? That's nonsense. That's ridiculous. If you shoot 50 frames, you know, like, and you don't stop and you want to shoot 200 frames, and like in the Nikon D500, they say 200 frames. That's nonsense, you know, like, then why not just film the whole match and then choose frames, you know, like, it's nonsense, it's ridiculous. So I think this is again the buffer rate, and after a while, you know, it's just only marketing strategy. I mean, the buffer of the Nikon D7200 is more than enough. It is more than enough. Okay, that's only my opinion again. I'm not a professional sports photographer, but in the same time, I have a lot of experience in sports photography. So 4K video, roughly the same like in the Nikon D500, 24 frames, 30 frames a second. Again, in my opinion, Nikon should not focus on video, because we all know that they are not really good in video. And okay, if you want to film somebody else and you want to focus manually, then it's okay, it's good video. The quality is okay. But the stabilization is rubbish in the camera. There is no, it's only some electronic stabilization, you know, and that's rubbish. So that's not good. So it's unusable. And the focus, you know, the autofocus on the camera, it's just not good for video. If you want to shoot yourself, you know, or if you want to shoot somebody with autofocus, the footage will not be good. And I tell you why. Because the camera does this refocusing, you know, I call it refocusing. Okay, some people call, I don't know, some other names. When the camera will just refocus. Sometimes this happens with the cameras where they use contrast detection autofocus. If the camera has phase and contrast detection, this is not happening. That's why Sony cameras and Olympus cameras, you know, they use the phase and contrast detection autofocus system, and it's not happening over there. That's why I say always that the autofocus and the tracking, you know, with in video I'm talking about, I think in Sony is the best, and Canon, you know, like it's Canon is I would say one of the best, you know, again, like Sony and Canon, these two I would choose, because Canon used this dual pixel autofocus system. So if we talk about video, I don't think that if you want to shoot video, I don't think that you should choose Nikon. So anyway, this is again my opinion. It's shooting 4K video in 24 frames and 30 frames a second. It's in it. If you want, you can do it. So now it comes the stupidest move what they could do, and that is they removed the second SD card slot, and this camera has only one SD card slot. Now guys, explain to me if you can, and please, if you can explain to me a reasonable explanation, please leave a comment down below and explain to me why they did this. Why are they so stupid to remove something which is in the camera? It was in the Nikon D7200. Everybody said that the Nikon D7200 stepped up in between the professional level cameras. Let's call it professional level cameras. And now the 7500, the successor of the 7200, they removed the SD card slot. So they will cripple the camera intentionally. I mean, it is unbelievably stupid. I think that this move, in my opinion, will simply destroy this camera. Because many photographers, they bought the Nikon D7200 as a great camera, because it has weather sealing, it has dual SD card slot, great image quality, good autofocus, and all of this. And now what they do with this camera, with the new one, they destroy this. So I don't really understand. I can't understand this stupid move, but that's the way it is. Stupid. Nikon, if you are listening, stupid move. Very stupid move. Now, in my opinion, this 7500, it's not worth to upgrade. Especially because the price point, it's $1,250 in US. That means it will be 1,350 euros in Europe. I don't know in Australia, I don't know in Canada. It's probably different price again. It will be a little bit more because the Australian dollar, it's a little bit less. So it will be probably around 1,500 or even more Australian dollar. So, but at this price point, you put $200-300 extra and you can buy a Nikon D500 on the refurbished, you know, like an almost new Nikon D500. And that's it. I think that with this move, they simply destroyed. And I tell you something, they will destroy this company. Honestly, it looks like they want to destroy this company. Because they do some stupid moves that it's unbelievable. Or again, if you don't want to buy, you know, a Nikon D500, you can get a Nikon D7200 again. I mean, there is only a minimal upgrade from the Nikon D7200. There's only a minimal. And the important upgrade would be the ISO performance. That's the only thing. What would be an upgrade? Image quality wise, it's the same. You know, autofocus is the same. Like I said, the most important things, it's the same. So if you get a Nikon D7200, or even if you want to get something else, you know, you don't want to stay in Nikon, you can get a Fuji X-T2 for an extra 200 euro. And Fuji X-T2, it's a great camera, fast autofocus. Some situations even better the autofocus than on the Nikon D500. So it's super fast autofocus, you know. I don't know, great image quality, you know, it's a brilliant camera, Fuji X-T2. So, unfortunately, Nikon, it looks like he wants to suicide. That's what he wants to do. It looks like. I don't know. Nobody understands, and I was talking with a few friends, you know, and nobody understands why was this stupid move, but it was. So anyway, they are on the right path to get suicide. So I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. I hope that you liked it. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and share your opinion. Please tell us your opinion. What do you think about this upgrade? What do you think about this Nikon D7500? Does it worth upgrading for you or not? Maybe it works. I don't know. You know, maybe for you it's okay. I don't know. So if you have a different opinion, please feel free and leave a comment down below and share my videos. Other than that, I hope that you all will have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.